Here's a question that I guess it kind of frustrates me a little bit when I read the question. I'll offer it to you and then give an explanation. I think you'll understand why I'm frustrated with it. Should Christians refrain from any violence? I have a beautiful wife and 3 children. I do not feel that becoming violent to protect them is incompatible with the whole or any part of the Bible. Do you? No. I don't think it's incompatible with the whole or any part of the Bible either to protect your family and your children. And I'm on his side, basically. And what is amazing to me is there's a whole lot of people that aren't on his side that apparently have gotten him thinking that in order to be a follower of Christ, you do nothing to oppose evil, except for maybe witness or, I don't know, try to appeal or plead or persuade. Simply put, the God of the Bible is not a pacifist. He required of Israel to gather armies to punish the enemies of God. Peter says, or maybe I think it is Peter, because Paul makes a similar statement, so I get him confused, that the government is there for the punishment of evildoers and the praise of those who do right. The Caesar does not bear the sword for nothing. The scriptures talk about the Lord of hosts. You know what the Lord of hosts is? He's the Lord of armies. Since there is so much of this in the scripture, how is it that anyone gets the wrong impression that God is against violence? Or, to put it in a popular form, violence never solves anything. This is a statement, by the way, that is patently false and obviously false. Violence solves all kinds of things. Now, it creates problems too if violence isn't used properly, but violent actions stop lots of evil and protect innocent people from being victimized by powerful, evil people. All right? Now, I guess the question is Jesus. Jesus talked about turning the other cheek, but you have to look carefully at what he said. He said, if someone strikes you on the right cheek, then you turn to him the left also. Now, why did he say the right cheek? Well, when you think about it, how can you strike somebody on the right cheek? Most people are right-handed. A strike on the right cheek by a right-handed person is a backhanded swipe. That means it is an insult. It is not a blow to harm or to it's not a blow to initiate a crime or something like that. No, it's a way of insulting somebody. And what Jesus is saying there in the Sermon on the Mount is you do not take private revenge for private insults. He is not saying that in every occasion of evil you are to just go along with it and let the evil person do whatever he wants. In fact, when Jesus was at his own trial and he was struck on the face, what is interesting is he did not turn the other cheek. Instead, he said, if I did something wrong or said something wrong, bear witness to the wrong, and if not, then why did you strike me? That is, Jesus held the person acting inappropriately accountable for what they did. He called them into account. Now, he was in a powerless position to do anything about it, but he didn't just let it ride, like, okay, hit me again, harder, harder, kind of thing. Now, when it is appropriate to use violence and even to the point of lethal action is a different question. But that it's appropriate strikes me as manifestly obvious, especially when it isn't one's own concerns that are at issue, one's own pride when they get insulted. We don't return evil for evil, but it's not always evil to return violence for violence. Sometimes it's the right thing to do. It's the morally good thing to do. And it's a shame that we have been somehow beaten into submission by some people on this, that we would question whether it's even appropriate for us to protect our own families, for goodness sake. Yes. And that protection in the Bible is expressed in a number of different ways. Governments are a means of protection. Armies are a means of protection. Families are a means of protection. So one need not construe Jesus' words as kind of an extreme example of, or I should say an example of extreme pacifism. God is not a pacifist. And therefore we are not obliged to be extreme pacifists either.